Wondering, given the anti-media, anti-free press rhetoric that is so prevalent right now, what would you, as U.S. Senator, do to ensure the press is protected, journalists are protected, and that they can continue to serve as watchdogs for democracy?
Yeah, this idea fronted by the president that somehow the press are the enemy of the people, reinforced by him tweeting out images of a reporter being hit by a train, body slammed in a wrestling ring, is incitement to violence. I don't know any other way to call it. That undermines an essential pillar of the American democracy.
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about 2020 Democratic presidential hopeful Beto O'Rourke kicking Joel Pollak of Breitbart News out of an event he was having at Benedict College, an historically black college in Columbia, South Carolina. Now, there's a lot to quote-unquote unpack here, as the cool kids would say, but first, let's address the obvious elephant in the room. You saw what I played before I started talking right here in this video. You saw that the young lady asked Beto about protecting journalists and the First Amendment, all this, that, and the third. Here comes Beto talking about, oh, we cannot have journalists be the enemy of the people. We must protect them wherever they are. They got to be able to cover us and keep us honest. So why did you remove a reporter from Breitbart News? Like, what was really going on? Was he being disruptive? Was he causing a scene? What's really happening? Now, according to Joel Pollak, and if you want to read this, I'll place it in the box below, but according to Mr. Pollak, he was told by Beto's people first, well, he was asked at first, hey, where are you reporting from? What company, publication, whatever are you with? He says Breitbart. They leave him alone. They come back, and then they say, okay, sir, we need you to gather your belongings, come outside, and then he was asked to leave. He asked, why am I being told to leave? And they said that he had been disruptive at previous events. Now, according to Mr. Pollak, he had only been at 2 other events where Beto was there, or if he was a headliner. And only in one other situation did he even have any kind of interaction with Beto, and it was to ask one question at a press gaggle. In any of these events, there was never a report of Joel Pollak acting out. And I've seen Joe before. I recognize him. He's not the kind of guy that you would even think would be disruptive or loud or verbose, really. He seems like a real quiet guy, Jewish, wears a yarmulke. He's a really unassuming kind of guy, kind of nerdy. Nothing against Mr. Pollak, but that's just kind of how I see him. I don't see him as a rabble-rouser or one of these prime time people that are trying to get attention by drumming up controversy. That's just not how he is. He is a written word kind of guy. You barely ever see him on camera talking at all. Beto's people put out a statement, and I'll place that on the screen before you. They're talking about Breitbart News being a racist place, talking about they got a section called Black Crime, and we don't want to make any quote-unquote person of color feel uncomfortable, all this, that, and the third. So first, according to Mr. Pollak, it was that Pollock was acting up and being disruptive. But now it's about Breitbart News. So really, I mean, the first excuse would have made more sense, but I guess you couldn't prove that at all. So now you're going to say Breitbart are racist and they're just a bad publication. I guess that'd be easier to prove that claim, even though that's not true either. I read Breitbart all the time. It's a good publication, in my humble opinion. A lot of great people, great sources. I like a lot of their opinion pieces. It's great to me, you know, the racism and stuff like that. I mean, that's just people on the outside looking in, thinking Breitbart is a certain kind of way, although it's not. I mean, they say that Breitbart are white supremacists. Meanwhile, Andrew Breitbart himself was Jewish. A lot of the top guys over there are Jewish. They're big time supporters of Israel. I don't understand how they're racist. You know, I just don't get it. If anything, it's the leftist media that are the racists, but that's a whole different story. And for now, I digress. So now they want to attack Breitbart. But like I said in the very beginning, at the top of this video, you have Beto O'Rourke talking about how we got to protect all press. So, I mean, are we going to pick and choose what press to protect and what press not to protect? Is it freedom of speech or no? I just want to know so I know going forward what it is. Is it only freedom of speech when you agree with it? I mean, I'm just trying to figure out what's really going on. people like Beto and others will try to attack Trump and those of us on the right who celebrate people like Brian Karam and Jim Acosta getting their press passes revoked from the White House. Okay, but these guys are truly disruptive, trying to fight. Both of them try to fight in the White House, starting with Jim Acosta. Remember this infamous scene of him grabbing the microphone from the young girl, and then Trump had to like berate him when he was on the mic, like put down the mic, stop it, enough. Like he was a father talking to his very small son, like a toddler. You know, if you got 2 or 3 little kids under the age of 5 and they're wrestling and fighting, you got to have a dad or the mom come in talking about stop it, enough. That's kind of what was going on with Donald Trump talking to this big grown man with a full beard of gray and Jim Acosta, or at least salt and pepper. Either way it goes, you're way too old to be acting like that in the White House. So when his press pass got revoked and ultimately reinstated from a court, when that happened, it made sense for the pass to be revoked to begin with. I mean, this guy was really acting up, and it was on camera. It was proven. We saw it right in front of our eyes. Where's the evidence of Joel Pollak acting up? I would dare anybody from Beto O'Rourke's staff or anyone else in the world to find any footage of Joel Pollak acting up. That's what I just want to see it. And if you can show that to me, I'll be wrong. But as of right now, I'm not. And then talking about Brian Karam, he was a Playboy White House correspondent. This guy was talking about conservatives from the social media summit were demon possessed and all this, that, and the third, attacking people, threatening people, talking about, hey, we can go outside, all this and that. And he was a coward too. He was like, okay, we can go outside. And then when Sebastian Gorka rolled up on him, all of a sudden, no, I don't want to fight. I don't want to. Come on. Okay. Throwing a stone and then hiding his hand. That's what Brian Karam did. And he has a history of this kind of behavior. So when he got his press pass revoked, the mainstream media were talking about how, oh, you're trying to suppress the media. You're anti-First Amendment, freedom of speech. Meanwhile, this person was a proven rabble-rouser on tape, audio, and video, not just the one time in the Rose Garden, but also in other instances. He's been a rabble-rouser. He's been a problem. He is the kind of guy you don't want around you at all. All right. So when the media says that Trump and anybody on the right are wrong for celebrating their press passes being revoked because, you know, you're anti-freedom of speech, it doesn't make any sense. These guys are obviously not really all the way there. They're a few trees short of a forest, a few fries short of a Happy Meal. The elevator's not going all the way to the top. They're dangerous. I don't want them to be anywhere around me, especially not in the White House of all places in the world. But also talking about the left, April Ryan from CNN, or she's a CNN contributor, she had an event where a guy that's on her side got forcibly removed by one of her security guards to the point where the guard got charged with assault. All right. And like I said, the guy was on her side. So not only were they trying to, quote unquote, silence the press, they were wrong on top of that. The guy was there minding his own business. He was not a protester, a rabble rouser, or anything like that. And he got assaulted by a guy. For what reason, I'm not really sure. Maybe April Ryan did not like the guy personally. I don't know what it is. But whatever the case may be, it seems like the left are simply projecting onto us on the right what they do. Okay? You want to talk about silencing the press. You want to talk about suppressing freedom of speech. All we're doing is trying to make environment safe for people to be in. If you're out here trying to fight women and you're trying to threaten people in the Rose Garden, you got to go. It is what it is. It ain't nothing else to it. You can disagree, and that's fine. You can be from an opposing place that has a totally anti whatever the person being covered is point of view. That's okay, but don't be violent. Don't be trying to threaten people. Don't be a total nuisance over and over and over and over and over again to the point where the only option is to remove you. Okay? In that situation, that's perfectly fine to remove you. But just for being there, minding your own business, not starting any kind of trouble, what's the point in removing them? Oh, because they come from Breitbart? Oh, because you don't like them personally? It seems, like I said, as if the left are doing a bunch of projection talking about silencing the freedom of speech, and it's only us on the right that seem to be the biggest proponents of freedom of speech. So that's pretty much all I got. What say you? Do you think that it was correct for Beto O'Rourke's people to remove Joel Pollak of Breitbart News from their event at Benedict College? If that's your viewpoint, let me know why in the comments below. Or was it the wrong thing? Or there's a third option. Right or wrong is not really the question. Is it hypocritical for Beto O'Rourke to do that and then wax poetic about how Trump is trying to silence the press? How about April Ryan? Will these stories, April Ryan and also Beto O'Rourke, be covered by the mainstream media the same way that Brian Karam and Jim Acosta having their press passes revoked from the White House were? Whatever your comments are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.